Hello everyone, this is Nitish Kumar. In this video, we'll be gathering collective responses from people based on world literature. Here we go. Hi,
Hi,
can you introduce yourself?
my name is Gokul Nath and I'm pursuing my postgraduate in political science.
Okay, Gokul, I have a question for you in world literature. Can we move on to the question?
Okay.
Yeah. If you could rewrite the ending of any movie, which would it be and how?
ரீசெண்டா காந்தி கண்ணாடின்னு ஒரு படம் பார்த்தேன். ஓவராலா ஒரு ஃபீல் குட் மூவி அது. ஸ்டார்டிங் டு எண்டிங் இட் வாஸ் ஃபீல் குட் மூவி. பட் எண்டிங்ல மட்டும் ஒரு ட்ராஜடிக்கான ஒரு கன்க்ளூஷனோட முடிச்சிருப்பாங்க அவங்க. எப்படின்னா இட் வாஸ் ஸ்டோரி. ஒரு வயசான கப்பிள்ஸை வச்சு இது மூவ் ஆகும். கடைசியில அவங்க ரெண்டு பேருமே எமோஷனலி டிட்டாச் ஆகி ரொம்ப வெக்ஸ் ஆகி சாகுற மாதிரி கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. அந்த ஒரு எண்டிங் இல்லாம ஒரு ஹாப்பி எண்டிங் கொடுத்துருந்தா இட் வில் பி நைஸ் எனக்கு ஃபீல் ஆகும். மை பர்சனல் ஒப்பீனியன்.
ஸோ நீங்க இப்ப எந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கொஞ்சம் டீட்டெயிலா அதை பத்தி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண முடியுமா? எந்த மாதிரி இருக்கலாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஸ்டோரி பத்தியும் உங்களோட நீங்க கொடுக்க போற ஒரு எண்டிங் பத்தியும் நீங்க எப்படி எல்லாம் கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்ற உங்க சஜஷன்.
ஸ்டோரி வைஸ் இந்த எண்டிங்கும் நல்லா தான் இருக்கு. பட் நிறைய ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு இது கொஞ்சம் நெகட்டிவ் இம்பாக்ட் ஏற்படுத்தலாம். நானா இருந்திருந்தா ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் எண்டிங் லைக் ரெண்டு பேரும் சேர்ந்து இது வந்து ஒரு 60th வெட்டிங் ஆனிவர்சரி செலிப்ரேட் பண்றதுதான் இதோட தீமே. மெயின் கான்செப்ட் இதுதான். அந்த மெயின் கான்செப்ட் கடைசியில இல்லாத மாதிரி இருந்தது. அந்த கடைசியில அந்த மெயின் கான்செப்ட் லிங்க் பண்ணி முடிச்சிருந்ததா இட் வில் பி நைஸ்னு எனக்கு தோணும்.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Gokul.
வெல்கம்.
Hi.
Hi,
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Ankaray from second English.
Okay, and I have a question for you in the field of world literature. Can we move on to the question?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Some books are sad but unforgettable. Do you think sadness makes a story stronger?
From my perspective, I hope it differs from person to person, whether they like the emotion of sadness or the happiness which can churn their minds to form different words. But personally, I feel the more poignant stories have a deeper impact. Which is somewhat similar to what Aristotle goes with catharsis. It has the power to change your mind, change certain emotion, cleanse your certain thoughts. So I feel, to me, the more poignant the stories has a deeper impact on me. Therefore, it remains unforgettable for a very long time than the happy stories, which I tend to forget with time.
Can you give me some examples for this?
An example I would quote would be, there is a story by Anton Chekhov. It's called Vanta, and it's a story of a young boy who struggles amidst the feudalistic structures, and it portrays the hardships that he undergoes, and yet the hope that he has in his mind that he'll be saved one fine day. And the conditions that Chekhov portrays through the story, the harsh realities that the protagonist goes through it. For the fact that I also have a brother, which is somewhat to his age. So I could relate it very much better to the conditions, what he'll be going through, the desires that he have, the freedom that he yearns for, or the final desire that his grandfather will take him back to home. So all these things stirred my mind, and it still has a huge impact on me, I feel. So yeah, because the story was this poignant, it still remains in me.
So the concept of sadness has a worth for it, right?
For me, it definitely has a huge impact, and it definitely makes the story unforgettable in my list.
Thank you for your clarification. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is Shrija Datta. I'm from History Department, second year. And I'm originally from West Bengal. So it's my second year in Tamil Nadu. And I don't know language. So I'm in a foreign place basically, but I'm enjoying my life right now. Not much of a good reader, but I like dancing and writing a bit. So yeah, that's
Okay, I have a question for you in world literature. Can we move on to the question?
Huh?
Can we move on to the question?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could step into the world of any novel, which one would you choose?
as I said, I'm not that much of a good reader, but there's a book I go back to even at this age. I'm not ashamed to say that because that's Harry Potter, and I feel it's far beyond the shackles of Harry, protagonist, antagonist, magic, children's book. It's not just that. I think to be in a safe space while enjoying your personal freedom with your friends who trust on you completely and have guidance with you while enjoying the journey of growing up, getting out of that shade, like Harry. I think all of us need that in life. So all of us young adults, somewhere we like the freedom, but secretly we wish that there is a shade on top of us where we can go back to if we are in a moment of struggle. So that is Harry Potter for me. Finding my own freedom in the warmth of parenthood or the warmth of guidance. So yeah, if I want to go back, I would definitely want to go back to that world where I can do anything, be anything, not be judged, be trusted, and have a shade on top of me to run back to whenever I feel doing it. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you for your cooperation. Have a nice day. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Nitesh.
Yes. I have a question for you in world literature. Can you move on to the question?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Which writer from another culture has made you feel most connected to their world?
Yeah, thank you for the question. See, I come from a rural background. I've been surrounded with villages, and the rural life is so simple, and it doesn't have the stir of the society in the city. When I read Thomas Hardy in my third year, I found that Thomas Hardy was so interesting, and I could my life in village resonated well with the life in the novels of the Thomas Hardy. So I understood after that when we go back, in our history, I think Hardy is a representation of English life in this imaginary town, Wessex. I found that this representation of English life comes more closer to the reality than the great George Eliot, George Dickens, who represented the urban life. I mean, George Eliot is one who wrote in substantial amount about both urban and rural life. But to me, Thomas Hardy, made a very deep impact to understand the rural world of English society. So more than the Charles Dickens and George Eliot, I found Thomas Hardy very relatable, and I was able to imagine English life through Thomas Hardy. I think it's my knowledge of my own town actually helped help me understand Thomas Hardy. Through Thomas Hardy, I could understand the rural life in the British society. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Arun. I'm doing my second year master's in political science. I also did my UG here. So it's my first year in college.
Yeah. Okay, Arun, I have a question for you in world literature. Can you move on to the question?
Please do.
Yeah. What is the first book or story from any country that really stayed with you and why?
Apart from the other books that I've read, the book I read recently, not so recent, but Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I read it because Wesley sir was planning to teach it in class. So I thought I'd read it before I go sit for his class. And I've heard him talk about it. So before I go to read the book, I've heard him explain about a particular part on how the protagonist decides to whether or not leave some money on the window of a girl who earns by a profession not so good. So the perspective that he gave me on that book made me interested in the book, and I did buy the book and start reading it. And the time I read the book was also a crucial point in why I started liking it, because I was going through similar thoughts on existentialism, because as a student of political science, I did have to read the Hellenic school of thought that was mostly about the skeptic and stoic ideologies. And the book was rightly timed because it also did dwell on the morality of things, and obviously it revolved around one single crime. I'm not usually interested in crime stories, mostly the Indian ones and the other story. Why again? Because of the Russian novel, because it gave a different perspective to crime. crime was not just about covering it up and how did he find it. It didn't revolve around the suspense and building up, but rather it had a bigger perspective on morality. So that is one reason why I liked it, and I guess it still stays close to me as a book from another country that stays with me.
Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Thank you. Have a nice day, Arun.
Thank you, you too.
Can you introduce yourself?
I am Rachel Joy from the Department of Zoology.
Okay, I have a question for you, Rachel. Do you think reading stories from other countries helps us understand people better? If so, why?
Yeah, when we read stories from other countries, like we get to know like the mindset of people, like how they think, what is life according to them, and what are their fears, what have they faced in life which they are trying to put it in words. And we can also know the cultural difference. Like it is from a different country. We can compare the culture, and then we get to know a lot of new things.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Lakshmi Priya from Word Be Combinator.
Okay, I have a question for you, both the same more difficult.
Yeah.
Do you think colonial rule in India by British has impacted our recent times positively or negatively?
I would say the negativity overweighs the positivity impacts of colonialism. The negative effects would be deindustrialization and the resources are exploited more. And because of that, the economic condition and the social conditions are very weak. And the colonialism has in fact created regional classes, communal classes, and it has also created bureaucracy, and it has changed the parliamentary system of India. And a positive impact would be the India has become multilingual. Talk about post-colonializing it. I'm someone who strongly believes that the English still have their richness. For example, our mode of communication is still English, even if India has like 28 languages with strong literature backgrounds. And cricket is our favorite sport. What else? Even when we talk about development, we take the Western values of development from our dress, from what we eat, from how we behave, from what our annotations are, everything. We compare it to the Western standard. Basically, we have the definition of a standard. When we say standard, we see the West, we see our English roots, and then we set our standards. Even when we have our own standards, when we have our own culture, our own practices, our own. So I'm Sarah Gracie, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in commerce, aided. So I think post-colonialization has really has a positive impact on the Indian economy, as the colonialization has really brought up new innovations and open up the market for the country and everything. Only due to British colonization, we actually got the Indian railways, and we were about to we left the caste system and all the traditional stuff like sati and everything. So I think it really has a really positive effect, even though we talk about the slavery and the theft of everything. I personally think that only due to the colonization of the British, we were actually able to improve our culture, leave the traditions the unwanted traditions behind, and be in the state as a growing country in this era. Thank you.
If you have enjoyed this video, knowledge is love, light, and vision. Wisdom is knowing what to do next. We'll meet in the next new video. Thank you.